on its new night.
More people shop at Perry than at any other drugstores in Michigan. Why?
I was vacationing in Petoskey and I ran out of a prescription. The local Perry pharmacy checked their computer and they refilled it right on the spot.
As a nurse, I know how harmful drug interactions can be. Perry's computer system won't let that happen to my family.
Kids only get sick at night, so when you need a prescription for the 3-year-old, it's nice to know 24-hour Perry is close by.
Why not make your drugstore Perry Drugstores? Come talk to us. We're there when you need us.
He's a tough kid. Thinks he's indestructible. But he'd get a bad cold, and a fever, and get achy. At times, the Tylenol would wear off. He'd try Advil. Got so he asked the doctor what to do. The doc said that there's a pain reliever for the aches and pains of tough colds. It's the only one with 8 to 12-hour dosing. It's called Aleve. It lasts longer than Lexus Tylenol, and Advil isn't stronger. Aleve. I told his mother I'd look after him.
I told her I'd look after you. Aleve. All day strong, all day long.
Watching an action movie on HBO.
Hey.
Watching an action movie on digital HBO.
Wow.
Experience the power of USSB digital programming on the new digital satellite system. Now at your RCA or satellite TV retailer.
You're watching WOTV 41.
The following program is a close-to-home presentation of WOTV 41.
Good evening. I'm Adam Shapiro at the Aviano Air Base in northern Italy. I'm here with many of your West Michigan neighbors, people who you may work alongside or see shopping at the mall. They're the men and women of Battle Creek's 110th Fighter Group of the Air National Guard. Over the next half hour, you'll meet these West Michigan warriors, hear their stories, share in their triumphs and defeats as they take part in a first-of-its-kind mission, a mission flying over Bosnia. Bosnia-Herzegovina, Muslims, Serbians, UN peacekeepers. They are words and phrases from a distant war in a foreign land. Even if we understand the Bosnian Civil War, few of us can relate it to our lives in West Michigan. Tonight, that will change. We will bring the war into your living rooms as we show you West Michigan's contributions to the peacekeeping efforts in the conflict. We have been given unprecedented access to the Aviano Air Base here in Italy. We are the first broadcast journalists in the world to see the United Nations Operation Deny Flight mission this up close and personal. More on the mission in a minute. But first, welcome to Aviano. While it may not be Rome or Venice, what it lacks in size, it makes up for in charm. The town of Aviano sits 50 miles to the north of Venice. Its people are simple. Many still scoot around on motorbikes or bicycles. The architecture isn't world-renowned, but you get the impression this building has been here longer than most things back in America. When we visited, the Christmas spirit was alive and well.
It's not grabbing.
The folks of Battle Creek enjoyed Aviano, but they wanted to make sure everyone knew where they were from. The Guard members went to work, putting up the official Serial City flag.
It's the only one I've seen around here. I think that a lot of perhaps other people and other organizations aren't as recognized or perhaps as appreciated as what we are.
The unit hung up the flag at one of its operations buildings.
Well, this flag is representative of a symbol, you know, from back home, a reminder that back home we're not forgotten, and it's appreciated that you people brought it over here for us. So that gives us a little bit of, I guess, incentive to keep doing our mission here and knowing that we aren't forgotten.
The Aviano base is so crowded right now that the Battle Creek Guard members must sleep at these beautiful ski resorts in the Italian Alps. They do get a chance to visit the town's restaurants, where sometimes you need a translator to understand what's on the menu.
La signora, quella signora là deve prendere.
The favorite dish I've had here is probably carbonara, which is a spaghetti with egg and cheese and a white sauce. And it must have 10,000 calories. I think, as most people can probably see, it's a reward for me. I'm not going to lose any weight here.
Okay, your pizza is ready.
Neither will many of the other Battle Creek visitors. I can vouch for the fact that the food here is excellent. Well, food is one thing the Guard did not have to bring with them, but they did take just about everything else from their base in Battle Creek. How'd they do it? With a lot of work and the help of 3 cargo planes, including one of the largest cargo planes in the world. The biggest pieces of freight flew on their own. 8-tin jets like this one left from the Battle Creek base for Italy the day after Thanksgiving. The Guard members took a more spacious mode of transportation, a chartered jet, which will bring them the closest most have ever been to a war zone. 11 hours after takeoff, the plane lands in a light rainfall at the Aviano Air Base in Italy.
How you doing, buddy? Hey, Chief Rose, how you doing?
You brought this with you. It was beautiful until yesterday, and we knew you were coming, so...
The unit quickly realizes it's not home anymore. These citizen soldiers are now part of a high-stakes peacekeeping effort.
You're going to see a lot of things here you've never seen before. Airplanes pointing at each other. It's normal procedure here. It's a crowded base. There's a crowded atmosphere.
The pilots and support staff also get a safety warning. Terrorists have attacked the Aviano base before and could target it again. They're told to look under their vehicles for anything suspicious.
Regina Room 51.
Then the paperwork begins.
All right, let's nap.
The unit members get ID badges and numerous forms to fill out.
Finance is out front, and they will do the Lear exchange.
Once everyone arrived in Aviano, they began calling this building their main office. In here, you find these enormous aluminum bins that contain more than 3,000 spare parts, just in case the planes need any extra work. Also in here, supplies like these water bottles. And there's extra room for the engine shop, the machine specialist, and the commander's tent. Everyone in here is working to make sure the mission goes off without a hitch.
They added more sorties for the...
It was Master Sergeant Brian Ziskel's job to pack the base's belongings and make sure they arrived overseas in one piece.
Not the most difficult I've had in my career, but it was a great challenge because the amount of stuff that we started out initially saying we were going to bring kept growing and growing, and we ended up with actually one more airplane than we thought we were going to have.
The shipping list is incredible. 1,000 pounds of office supplies, everything from paper clips to pencils, 36 spare tires for the airplanes, 26 walkie-talkies, 200,000 pounds of cargo altogether. And what if they forgot something from Battle Creek? If you need a wrench or a spare part, is there a hardware store here you can go get it?
Well, there probably is. We don't anticipate needing to do that, though. We bring everything we need. We're full up.
The real tricky part comes in February, when the unit must repack for its return to Battle Creek. And anyone who's traveled a lot knows you always return with more than what you brought. It was a big effort getting everyone from Battle Creek to Italy, and they had to make sure that they brought enough supplies, including 1 ton of computer paper. Coming up next on West Michigan Warriors Mission to Bosnia, why are the pilots here? We'll explain the Bosnian conflict and how the people from West Michigan fit into the scenario.
Johnny Cat, here with my pals to talk about my premium cat litter. Look, when some ordinary gray litters get wet, they can get muddy. But Johnny Cat is made from special lighter and whiter minerals that absorb moisture and odor. Now, mud may be fine for pigs, but we cats are a bit more particular. So if you own a pig, buy the gray stuff. But if you own a cat, try Johnny Cat. It's the lighter, whiter, and drier litter.
This wasn't like a movie where somebody yells cut.
My adrenaline was pumping.
I could taste the gunpowder.
This was real.
Point-blank encounters.
Bomb squad.
Homicide Davis.
At the raw edge of police action.
I can tell you it's exactly like getting hit in the chest with a sledgehammer.
True crime. Real heroes. Now 5 times a week.
Where the guys get called in when the heat gets turned up.
I'm a police officer. Halt!
Talk Cops.
Tomorrow at 5:30 on WOTV 41.
Rescued 911. 263 lives saved and counting. Life 157.
I put my hands on my throat. I saw that Easton was choking. Sylvie came and did the helmet maneuver to me.
I said, Sylvie, what happened? And he said, Easton choked. And he said, I did the helmet maneuver. Because of Rescue 911,
I saved Easton's life.
it would be something I'll never forget, ever.
Tomorrow at 5 on WOTV 41.
The next hero could be you.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran tastes so good, people forget it's nutritious. Why do you eat it?
Nutrition.
Good.
I'm a health nut.
Wheat bran, I love it.
Wait a minute, is this true? 10% more raisins free?
Wow, more raisins?
We're talking about nutrition.
Free raisins? Ooh la la.
That's not important.
Yes, it is. Now Kellogg's Raisin Bran has 10% more raisins, absolutely free.
Forget what it says behind my hand.
10% more raisins. Free!
You're looking at a mountaintop view of Aviano, Italy. We are just 200 miles to the west of war-torn Yugoslavia. When the Battle Creek pilots aren't flying over that troubled area, they're making their way up this curvy road. Near the top of the mountain are the hotels the pilots sleep in. But don't get the idea that they spend a lot of time relaxing. Before Guard members take off, they must attend a detailed briefing.
Go over to life support, you pick up your 9mm.
11:15 a.m.
Your binoculars if you want them.
Thursday, December 22nd.
You start the engines, then get clearance to taxi.
The fighter pilots gather for their first mission briefing.
Proceed to Papa Alpha 2.
The Battle Creek A-10s will fly over the former Communist Republic of Yugoslavia. The pilots will leave from Aviano, Italy, fly across Croatia, then enter Bosnian airspace.
We're the only ones in the loop.
Most of these pilots have never flown in a country where armies on the ground have missiles pointed their way.
Emergency jettison is over the water.
Getting shot down and being taken hostage are real possibilities.
So you turn out about 170 degrees, they say, but basically head for the water, and you jettison everything out over shore about 10 miles.
The pilots say when in Bosnia, they use radios to communicate with UN troops on the ground. They also practice firing their deadly missiles. They aim at targets and perform every action right up to the point of releasing the missile. When the pilots are done taxiing here on the runway, they'll get out of their cockpits and head to a briefing where they'll discuss what went right and what went wrong. While each pilot may think of him or herself as an individual, in reality, they are part of a large multinational force that is Operation Deny Flight. Operation Deny Flight began 2 years ago. Fighter aircraft from the United States is involved, along with planes from other NATO countries. The mission has two goals. First, protection of United Nations peacekeepers who are providing food and medical help to the Bosnian people. These peacekeepers have themselves become the targets of snipers. Secondly, Deny Flight is supposed to deny the Serbians and Muslims from the ability to use aircraft in their civil war. The Michigan Air National Guard pilots will spend 2 months in Aviano. They're replacing U.S. Air Force troops who are spending the holidays with their families. The Michigan Air National Guard is needed because it's one of the few Guard units in the country that flies the highly effective A-10. Known as the Warthog, the A-10 contains the most destructive gun in the Air Force. It can fire 3,900 rounds a minute. The lingering question for many is, are the air missions promoting peace, or are they merely increasing the war's length and pain?
These people have been fighting for thousands of years, or hundreds of years anyway, and are we going to make a difference? We hope we will. We hope we can save some lives, and that's the only thing that drives us. If we can save some lives, we're here to do that.
Guard officers say the proof that those briefings work is the fact that every Battle Creek pilot has returned safely. And next, we'll learn more about that mission over Bosnia as our report from Aviano, Italy continues.
In the beginning, Before Cats, before Evita, before the Phantom of the Opera, came the show that changed the world. Jesus Christ, Superstar, the international musical hit. Music by Andrew Lloyd Webber, lyrics by Tim Rice.
Tickets on sale now at Miller Auditorium. Call 387-2300 or 1-800-228-9858.
There is a place where a woman can grow stronger without ever lifting a weight.
Where she can learn to make a living as well as a meal.
Where she can take care of herself after years of taking care of others.
Where she can make a contribution without writing a check.
The Women's Resource Center, YWCA, Grow, and Junior League. Located at the Center for Women.
The average age for a child's first sexual experience is 16.
In the last 2 years, the number of teens with AIDS doubled.
It's the 6th leading cause of death for young people.
Your children must know
The facts about HIV.
the virus that causes AIDS.
They can learn the facts from you, but you must learn them first.
It's as important to your children's future
As reading and writing.
This deadly disease affects us all.
We need to band together in this fight. Break the silence.
For more information, 1-800-342-AIDS.
A cup of coffee, good morning America, and I'm ready to face the day.
It takes a lot of work for me to wake up.
I love waking up in the morning. I have tons of energy. Definitely a morning person.
Not really.
Once I have my coffee,
Nope, cup of tea.
latte, and I'm sitting there watching them, I'm a morning person.
I'm confused in the morning. What's happening? And this lets me know.
Charlie, he's my favorite.
She's got the beauty, she's got the intelligence, she's got the charisma. She has it all.
Spencer brightens our day, even when the weather's lousy. There's more to the world than Barney.
This is a real mean bunch over there, on both sides.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But we're all in the same boat, so you can't feel sorry for yourself because the guy standing right next to you is in the same situation. So, you know, you're all in it together.
And this guy flies fighters for a living.
Captain Cliff Latta.
American flag.
Usually he helps jets with American Airlines get off the ground, but today he's suiting up for the biggest mission of his life.
Global positioning system.
Latta makes sure everything's tucked in its place.
Oh yeah, gotta get the gun yet.
The 9mm gun is for protection, in case Latta finds himself in enemy territory.
Thanks a lot, Hawk. See you in about a couple hours. All right. Thanks, Brown.
It's off to the runway.
These are AIM-9 air-to-air missiles.
Where Latta gives his plane's weapons a look over and starts the engines.
Once you jump in the jet and you start the engines, it's like you've started the engines every other time you've flown the jet, and it becomes very natural and you've relaxed. There's not a problem at all. You know, she was really worried. Obviously all the wives are very worried, so you just try to make sure that she doesn't get too upset. I think she's pretty proud, though, too, that we're all doing this.
Latta's flight along the Yugoslavian coast lasts 2 hours.
Great. Good flight. It was a fun first flight.
And how does it compare to flying for American Airlines?
This is a lot more fun. Plus, we can go upside down, and passengers don't like that.
Major Dan Peabody lives a double life. When he's not flying for the Guard, he's practicing law in the courtroom.
It's similar in flying fighters that you're out there on your own. You're the only one. It's not a team type thing once you're in the area and doing the show. It's just you and the other guys.
Peabody says there's another similarity. People are trying to shoot you down, figuratively in court and literally in the air.
We'll get you when you get back, sir.
Peabody says his clients were surprised when he told them the Guard was sending him over a war zone.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good thing. I guess it's, if the Guard is going to be cost effective, we've got to do our share of these types of operations.
Peabody takes off and lands without a problem. Then it's off to a post-flight briefing. Peabody arrives knowing he reached his goal.
We've all got to do our part, so here we are.
It's nighttime here at the Aviano Air Base. That doesn't mean Operation Deny Flight shuts down. Planes still leave for Bosnia, and soon Battle Creek's contributions will join them. The people who help put the planes in the air usually don't receive a lot of attention or glory. The pilots get most of that. But the support staff's efforts are essential to the success of the mission. Changing a car tire can be tricky. So think how difficult it must be changing a tire on a plane that weighs more than 25 tons. It's a job for Senior Airman Chad Etchison and Staff Sergeant Ron Tyrell.
There it goes.
Both are members of the Michigan Air National Guard, but you'll never see them in the pilot's seat.
You know, everybody likes their specific job, but you come to find out that no matter how little a person's job is, it's very, very important to the mission. You lose that. If you lose that one person, you find out just how important it is.
Okay, that should do her. It's kind of like a sports team, you know. Your pilots are the ones that are basically fulfilling their part of the mission. You're fulfilling your part of the mission, so it's a total sports program.
Probably one of the riskiest behind-the-scenes jobs is the one these Guard members are doing right now. They're loading missiles onto the A-10 planes. If the munitions staff makes one wrong move, it could mean big trouble.
In my wildest day, I wouldn't want to drop one of these signs.
Sergeant Bob Burns takes his time.
Yes, sir.
This sign says it all.
Right. It's only as dangerous as you want it, as you really want to make it to be. Safety is stressed highly in the munitions branch. You don't want to, mishandle these things.
We've proven through each and every one of the operations.
The Guard members must ultimately answer to Colonel John Campbell.
Over 110 airplanes on the airfield.
He's the one who decides if the unit is performing its job.
And they have done absolutely perfect in every respect. They're great neighbors to have on the base with us, and great professionals in the air and on the ground. We're proud to have them.
You want to spin now?
Yep. They may never leave the ground.
Did you put some lube on there, Chad?
But they're as excited about the mission as any pilot.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But every time you launch one out, part of you goes with them.
The maintenance crews are so meticulous that they insist on checking every single engine blade after each flight. Coming up next on West Michigan Warriors Mission to Bosnia, the private fears and worries of the pilots as they fly these dangerous skies.
Time. Yeah, bath time. Time for me. Star Kid and Pert Plus for kids. Big girls don't cry. It's a cool shampoo and conditioner in one made just for you, because it's easy on eyes. So there's no crying when you're washing your hair.
They don't cry.
And like no crying when you're combing afterwards, dude. Easy on eyes, tough on tangles. Pert Plus for kids. See you soon, kiddo.
It's time. Entertainment reporting gave you something extra. Extra.
Close up.
Extra.
Personal.
Extra.
Inside.
Extra.
Different.
Extra.
Entertaining.
Extra. Entertainment from the inside out.
Extra.
The Entertainment Magazine.
Watch Extra tomorrow at 7:30
on WOTV 41.
Rescue 911. 263 lives saved and counting. Life 157.
I put my hands on my throat. I saw that Easton was choking. Sylvie came and did the helmet maneuver to me.
I said, Sylvie, what happened? And he said, Easton choked. And he said, I did the helmet maneuver. Because of Rescue 911,
I saved Easton's life.
It would be something I'll never forget, ever.
Tomorrow at 5 on WOTV 41.
The next hero could be you.
Any store can give you 90 days. Some stores give you 6 months. But one store breaks all the rules. Today at Blanco Furniture, there's no gimmicks, no tricks. You don't pay till 96. It's true. Blanco Furniture lets you buy furniture with no money down, no interest, and no payments till January 96. So don't just sit there. Today at Blanco Furniture in Shelbyville, there's no gimmicks, no tricks. You don't pay till 96.
experience. My wingman may not share the same sentiment. He was on the wing in the weather for a lot of the flight. That's never fun. It's always kind of a pain in the, you know what.
When the Battle Creek pilots take off from this runway, they leave knowing the rest of the base is wishing them well and waiting for their return. You may think of the pilots as overly confident characters, like the kind Tom Cruise portrayed in the movie Top Gun. In reality, they're just like you and me. One difference, we don't spend a lot of time flying over war zones.
We're basically in the operations center here.
Colonel Pete Kelly.
We're going now in our basically our computer room.
Commander of the Battle Creek Fighter Group.
A couple things that we do in here.
Showing us around the unit's operations center in Aviano. This is one colonel who has spent his time in the air, flying over Bosnia. He told us about one adrenaline-pumping experience.
I was over, we were fairly high, and there was a small dirt airstrip down there. And I seen a flash and something coming up. And I said, ah. But it turned out it was one of the French airplanes that we were working. And it was just instantly, and then I realized what it was. But for that little moment, it was, the old heart was up in the throat for a second. But
Kelly says when he walks out here on what's called the flight line and looks at his pilots getting ready to take off, he gets a lump in his throat. It's emotional for him to see the mission coming together.
But you get very close to these people when you're in, even in a 3-4 week period, you're here and you're doing a mission, you're doing something together, and everybody produced for you, everybody, you know, done everything and more that you would ever ask for. And there's a little emotion. I'm a little emotional anyway, so that's just me. But
emotions run high for others.
Oh, yeah.
Here's one pilot's personal message to the Serbians.
And, let's get some peace here. I mean, there's no reason to do this. And but if you decide that you're gonna shoot at us, and we'll shoot right back. I mean, we can't do that. But if something happened and we got the orders to be able to do it, then we would take no quarters. We would do it to the best of our ability to try and stop them or whatever we're ordered to do.
Sitting in their cockpits, the pilots can look as impressive as a CEO or an NBA basketball star. Getting the chance to fly these fighter jets,
we're all doing what we train to do,
is the payoff after years of hard work.
I guess I really haven't prepared psychologically anything different than just flying a normal mission. I mean, we train for this. When we train, we practice real-world stuff, so when it comes time to do it, you just do it.
You hear the word execution a lot, as in executing the Maverick missile, which a pilot can guide with a joystick upon release.
If I have to execute that, the ultimate realization of the training and the purpose of why we're over here, that will be unfortunate, but that's our job.
The Guard gets its fair share of knocks. Many still call it home to the weekend warriors.
My job over here is fairly well defined.
But these citizen soldiers are pleased that few, if any,
now you've got the full-out fighter pilot,
can tell the difference between them and the full-time military during the Bosnian mission.
There's no difference. There shouldn't be. It's from an operational standpoint, it's transparent as to who's doing the job.
As our program comes to an end, it's important to note the mission is not over. Pilots leave daily for Bosnia, flying over a war-torn region in an area few, if any, have ever visited. Is this a proper role for the Air National Guard? And are they bringing about the peace that they really want? Those questions will have to wait for another day. One thing is clear, though. Battle Creek should be very proud of the Air National Guard unit that calls the Serial City its home. Thanks for watching, and good night from Aviano, Italy.
old, and he's already preparing for his first day of school. That's right. Today, he's getting his first tetanus shot. Without it, he can't start school when the time comes. And you wouldn't want him to be all dressed up and no place to go, would you? So make sure your child gets his vaccinations. He can't go to school without them. Children first.
Brought to you by WOTV 41 in Bronson Hospital.
The 90s are not the 60s.
It's a lovely day.
There's no such thing as a harmless drug in a world this dangerous. Talk to your kids about marijuana.
This wasn't like a movie where somebody yells cut.
My adrenaline was pumping.
I could taste the gunpowder.
This was real.
Point-blank encounters.
Bomb squad.
Homicide, Davis.
At the raw edge of police action.
I can tell you it's exactly like getting hit in the chest with a sledgehammer.
True crime. Real heroes. Now 5 times a week.
Where the guys get called in when the heat gets turned up.
I'm a police officer. Halt!
Top Cops.
Tomorrow at 5:30 on WOTV 41.
You're watching WOTV 41.
There you go.
Thanks, ma'am.
Can I have everyone's attention, please? Grandma, Mom, Dad, Stuart, Eric. I'm moving out.
Pass the butter. Well, you know,
Maybe you didn't hear me. I said...
I'm moving out.
No, you don't understand.
I really mean it this time.
Stop that. I'm serious about this. I really need my own place. Don't try to stop me.
Laundry's ready.
All right, fine. But one day, you're gonna say, Margaret, pass the sugar, and you're not gonna get it. And you know why? Because I won't be here. I'll be in my own apartment, miles away. And then you'll say...
We were wrong. She really meant it this time. It's better.
Not bitter.
Surprise.
Sweet.
Ocean spray. Ruby red and tangerine grapefruit juice drink.
This is grapefruit. It's better.
Not bitter. Surprise. Yeah, it's sweet.
It has two tastes, like sweet at first and then grapefruit at the end.
Sweet grapefruit and tangerines.
Tangerine?
Wow. It's better. Much, much better.
Not bitter.
What a surprise.
It's very, very sweet.
It's not any ordinary grapefruit juice.
It's got a sweet grapefruit taste you'll crave. Ruby red and tangerine. Crave the wave. Ocean spray.
The temperature of your mouth, a steamy 98.6 degrees. The temperature of a winter fresh mouth.
Taste my
Introducing new winter fresh gum from Wrigley's.
Yes. I see cool flavor. Oh, yeah. I see cool breath.
That lasts. And lasts. And lasts. We can't wait for your reaction.